Welcome to another Synfig tutorial. Now in this one, I'll be showing you how to create the perfect arm and leg rotation. Now I might have covered this in another tutorial video, but that was a very old technique and this is a new technique. Well, it might be new to you, maybe, but not to me. But anyway, let me get started. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a upper arm and a lower part of the arm. Okay, so for that I need a circle tool here. I'm just going to left click and drag that circle there, and then I'll use my spline tool and I'll just create a semi-rectangle here. No need to close it here. I'm just going to turn that off. By the way, I'm on the for the spline tool, I'm on the outline layer. Well, outline layer type. Anyway, so let me zoom in here and I'm going to take this top part and I'm going to put it over here so that it sits in the center here and no part of it is going outward like this or like this. So I'm just going to move it until it goes into that part there. Okay, and that is looking fine to me. And I'm going to move this one and do the same thing with it like so. All right, so we have the upper part of our arm. Let me just fix this right here. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate this circle. So I'm just going to press Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and I'm going to move it over to this part here, like so. I'm going to scale it down using my scale tool, like so. And let me zoom in, and then I'm going to pretty much do the same thing that I did with the top circle. I'm going to move, let me go to my select tool here. I'm just going to move this up like so, and just position it on the circle so we can't see the top piece there. I'm going to come down here and do the same right here. Now it doesn't matter if this line is straight or not, right? It won't affect the final result whatsoever. All right, so let me zoom out. All right, so now we have the top part of our arm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a group. So I'm just going to select all of these and group them, and I'm going to call this up arm. Okay, and then I'm going to Ctrl C, Ctrl V to duplicate my group, and I'm going to call this one the lower arm. And please note that the names have nothing to do with the final results. Okay, so I'm just naming it so that we won't get lost. All right, so now that we have pretty much the same illustration that we have for the top part here, I'm going to go to the lower arm and come here, and I'm going to select this well, not a circle, I'm going to select the spline here, and I'm just going to move these over to create the lower part of the arm. Now I didn't move the circle because I want it to be perfectly aligned with the upper circle, the upper arm circle. Okay, all right, so let me just position this like so. So we're pretending that we're creating an actual arm here. I'm going to duplicate this circle and move it over like so. Well, I'm not going to create the hand because the hand is pretty much the same thing. So as a matter of fact, let me just delete the circle and we'll just work with these two here. So once you've completed your arm, the next step is to color the arm. So I'm going to be creating region layers for all of these. So I'm going to turn off the upper arm layer so I won't get confused. All right, I'm going to come here. Oh, and see, and I'm glad I turned that off so we can see that the upper circle is also a part of the lower arm, but we don't need that. We only need the lower part of the circle here. So I'm going to delete that, but please note it's still in the upper arm. Okay, so let me turn it off, and I'm going to right click this, click on make region, right click this, click on make region, and look at that, it fills in even though we didn't close the loop here. So that is pretty cool. I'm going to close this up, turn it off, turn this on, and I'm going to do the same thing. Right click, make region, So we want to do that for each part, make region, and this final piece here, which is this, right click and make region. All right, so we have our the two parts of our arms, right? So we have the upper arm and the lower arm. Now, the next step is to place all of our region layers on top of our outline. So I'm just going to come here, move it up, click on this region, and I'm going to move it all the way up above the outline layers, and I'm going to do the same for each part of the arm. So I'm going to do it here as well. Move that up and click on this, move it up like so, and we're done. Well, not exactly. Now the final thing to do, the very final thing to do is whichever part of the arm is on top. So this, the upper arm, is on top of the lower arm. All right, whichever one is on top, we want to go in, and wherever the center outline for the circle is, right, which is this one, we want to turn that off. And immediately, as soon as we turn it off, voila, perfect arm. All right, but this isn't where we end, right? Of course, you want to see if it rotates perfectly. For that, we'll need to rig it, and I'm not going to use bones to save time, so I'm just going to use the points on the folder themselves. So for the lower arm here, let me just find the center point there, and I am going to hold on Control and click on my folder there. I'm just going to move this point over on top of this one, like so. Let me zoom in and then move it over onto that point, because we're going to be rotating it, right? And it will be rotated around that point. Okay, so now our rigging is done. Haha. So watch what happens when I rotate. Look at that, a perfect arm rotation, and we even have that line there. That is awesome. So doesn't matter where I go, it will be perfect. Look at that. Look at that with minimal effort. Okay, no fancy technique or anything like that, but it just works. And pretty much you'll do the same thing for the legs if you're creating the legs. So you can use the same technique for any part of the body that rotates. Okay, and well, any part of the body that rotates and needs a gap like this or a line that goes like this. Okay, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you in the next one.